That'll buff right out. Well, hey y'all, welcome back to Doug's Cars. I'm here at the National Corvette Museum here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I've been in Nashville the past few days. You might have seen my early video at the Lane Motor Museum. Who knew that going to Music City, USA would have so much car-themed content available? I just had to come up here. It's only about an hour away and check it out. I've never been here before. Not entirely certain how many Corvettes are inside. I know they had the sinkhole incident and they've made that into like a part of the exhibit. So it'll be very interesting to see what's here. I'm gonna try to film as much as I can. Stay tuned. Well, as soon as you walk in, you're greeted with a bunch of Corvettes just sitting here ready to be picked up. These are all new vehicles about to be delivered, which is really cool. Never been a huge fan of that wing on the ZR1, but it's an awesome vehicle. Really interesting color. It's a super dark grayish blue, and then a bunch of yellow and red. Well, this is kind of cool. I just found this stack over here of free brochures that you can just take. 89. These are from the 80s. I mean, all of these are, you can just come up here and grab what better souvenir to have than like an 84 Corvette brochure. And you can't beat the price. I mean, it says it right there. You just can't beat that. So everybody knows that the 53 Corvette was, of course, the first year for the Corvette. And here's a rolling chassis that obviously has lost a little weight in the name of performance. But what a neat way to see one of these. Chassis number 3, you can see the Blue Flame Special 6-cylinder. Very, very limited wiring harness because it really wasn't a whole lot in these cars. It's funny that they kept the armrest so you can still drive it in comfort and open the space frame door, but nothing else. Well, this is an interesting proof of concept car. They created this to show that you could make a car out of fiberglass in 1946. So man, this is around the time of the Tucker Torpedo and some of those other amazing concepts that came out in the late 40s when everybody came back from war and wanted new cars. And claims to not need a frame. I think I would want to ride in a steel frame or aluminum frame car with a fiberglass body, but that's just me. Well, here we have a display of the first 3 years of production with a toy shop behind it, but I guess this kind of is a toy shop. And, you know, they really weren't going to make these for too long because they didn't sell that well. That is a great color. I love that. But you had to go all the way up here to this yellow 55 to be able to get it with a V8 for the first time, because the first 2 years were straight 6 and power glide, 2-speed automatic only. I really do like that color on the 54, even though I think everybody would rather have the 55 with the V8. Ooh. 67, big block, white Stinger, triple white, or white top, white interior, red exterior, sorry. So not triple white. Neat car. These were initially assembled in St. Louis, Missouri, and you know, they were definitely body-on-frame cars. It's funny that the Stingray chassis from these models, the Coke bottle model, was basically the same chassis as the previous generation that came out in '63 with the famous split-window coupe. Let's see if we can get a good look at that. I don't think this guy will mind. He's busy. Fuel tank is mounted way far back there. You can just kind of make out the transverse leaf spring on the rear end and coils on the front for the suspension of these. Well, I'm a sucker for this style, and I love the later ones with the Stinger hoods, denoting the big block, although they were retrofitted most of the time. Let's check that out. It's a 67, of course. 427. Marlboro Maroon. Very nice. Well, there's good old Louis Chevrolet. Without him, these would not have been possible. He certainly raced a lot of Corvettes over the years, but my favorite's got to be this one up here with the driving lights mounted on the front. It's 87. That's cool. They're at an angle too, which is kind of interesting. This looks pretty much stock. It's got stock interior. Those are interesting. I wonder what those lights on the mirrors for. Side marker. Oh, look at this 63 split window. Race car. Fuel injection. Oh, nice. Dark blue with the white stripes. See the split window there on the back. Side exhaust pipes. 327. This one raced on the Nürburgring. Wow, the Indy concept car. I remember seeing this as a kid. Yeah, okay, 1986. So I was a 9-year-old seeing this in like Motor Trend and Road and Track. And, that's cool. It's got all the gauges are like in the doors. There's a tape deck in the door. That's hilarious. It's much smaller than I expected. Of course, seeing it on paper as a child, it looked massive. Rear engine. I wonder whatever became of a rear engine Corvette. I guess we're going to find out soon. Nice exhibit here too. What the car looks like without any of its panels on. Well, this they call a Cormero. It's a it's a modern, well, for the era, late 90s Camaro with a complete Corvette drivetrain. You can see how much wider the rear end is to fit. Well, this is a cool little exhibit showing the difference between the fiberglass hood, which is 31 pounds, and the carbon fiber hood, which is only 20. Has quite a weight savings. You can totally understand why carbon fiber is used extensively nowadays. Now everybody knows that these are made out of fiberglass, but they got to design these, and this one is made out of solid wood. It's a styling exercise to show what the final interior will look like as a mock-up, but this thing must weigh thousands and thousands of pounds. It's really cool. Don't really ever get to see things like that normally. So they have a little design studio diorama here, and that man there, Larry Shinoda, was poached by Lee Iacocca, and he went to Ford, and he ended up designing the Boss 302 Mustang, but he also designed the '63 Corvette. Small world. Well, I think everybody I mentioned that I was coming here said, didn't they have a sinkhole? And yes, it was like going on 6 years ago, and they lost a bunch of cars, but they do have a recreation of it here. Check that out and see what it's like. Well, here's the dome. They've outlined where the sinkhole took place, and they've left a bunch of the vehicles here that were damaged, as damaged. Tough to see for anybody with any mechanical sympathy, but still, these are just too far gone to be salvaged, but still make for a stunning display. I mean, you can even make out the shift knob down in there, still covered in red leather and clay. And this one was almost totally destroyed. I mean, the engine's still there, and you can kind of recognize the seat, but look at how squished those seats are. If you like pace cars, this is the place to come, because there's been a ton of Corvette pace cars, and there's a bunch of them here. See nicely inside this one. 2-teller interior, 6-speed manual, which is still pretty rare back in 1995. And then moving up to the C5 for 98. Ooh, this one has an automatic. And then up to 2004 and 5. Lots of pace cars. Here's a great way of seeing every single generation of Corvette lined up side by side. They're going to have to make some room soon because there's a new one coming. I wonder if it'll fit right there in that spot. Maybe sideways. Now, it's commonly known that there was no 1983 Corvette. They went from the 1982 C3 right to the C4 in '84. But they did actually make 43 of them, and here is one. It was used as a rolling test bed, but they did exist. They just were never offered for sale. And it does look very similar, but those wheels I've never seen on any other Corvette in my entire life. This one has 0 miles. I'm surprised it didn't get any being rolled in here. So the special exhibit here now are the NASA Corvettes. These were pretty much given, I think, for $1 a year to all astronauts back in the late 60s and early 70s at the heyday of space travel. And when people saw the astronauts driving these, hey, they'd run out to their local Chevrolet lot and pick one up for themselves. And who could blame them? These were the fastest things around at the time, really. Well, y'all, what better way to end this than by sitting in one of the Vettes they have right in here. They have one they allow you to sit in. It's a 2019. It's well worn, because I think probably 8 million people have sat in here. But it's probably, I'm not sure I could actually close the roof and sit in the seat the way it's set up. But hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? Once again, thanks so much for watching. I'm very happy to see all these people who have signed up to follow me. It's just overwhelming how awesome that is. I just love putting this content out, and I love sharing my passion with the world, really. And keep on getting people to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And my little jaunt to Tennessee and Kentucky is about come to an end. I'll be heading back to Virginia tomorrow, and I'll be working on my cars and maybe some Range Rovers and maybe some Wagoneers and who knows what else. More things will definitely be coming your way very soon. Appreciate y'all. Keep watching. Well, y'all, I'm all about some bonus content. And I grabbed one of these free brochures on the way out. This one's a C4 one from the mid-'80s. I'm not sure exactly of the year. But one of my first automotive memories is my dad bringing home a Corvette brochure. I want to say it's the 84. It was definitely a C4. And I remember it specifically because it had paint swatches in the back and like velour and leather swatches that came like glued down in the back of the book. This one doesn't have that, but what it does have is a poster of a C4 Corvette, which just happens to come with it for free. The rest isn't unfolded, but you get the idea. This is free. They're selling posters of these things in the gift shop for 20 bucks. So there's a top tip. If you're here and they still have lots of free brochures out and you want some cool swag like a poster, grab one of these and see what's in there. Anyway, thanks again for watching.